climate all year round. Largest concentration of black people in the world. Hospitable, vibrant, and happy people. There is no place like Nigeria. A land of opportunities. The biggest window in the world of business and investments. Extremely rich in multicultural diversity. There is no place like Nigeria.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
International news.
President Buhari urged to wade into the potential dangerous political crisis in Ondo State. As farmers' herdsmen conflict assumes major security concern in Nigeria, former head of state appeals for collaboration. 16 states in Nigeria on food security alerts. Aisha Buhari says she remains steadfast in supporting her husband's administration in his quest to improve lives of Nigerians. Hello and welcome to NTA International News. I'm Nancy Godi Angonihu. Governor Olusegun Mimiko of Ondo State has made a passionate appeal to President Muhammadu Buhari to wade into what he called the potentially dangerous political crisis in the Sunshine State. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the governor, who met the president behind closed doors, described as shocking and disturbing the replacement of Eyitayo Jegede's name with that of Jimo Ibrahim as PDP candidate for the forthcoming governorship election in the state by INEC.
The morality of it, the legality of it, the politics of it, that's just no justification for what INEC has done. It can cause conflagration in the state. And that is why, as the Chief Security Officer of the state, I've come to alert Mr. President of the potential danger of this injustice so that we can nip it at the bud.
What was Mr. President's reaction?
Mr. President has promised to look into it, and that if there was any patent injustice, that is given assurance that it will be rectified.
Your Excellency, as we speak, there are people on the streets of Abuja, wandering places, protesting. What will you be telling them?
The whole day, from 5 a.m., 4 a.m., I've been up and running. I've been on phone to major stakeholders to ensure that we keep the peace in the state.
Governor Mimiko there briefing the press on his meeting with President Buhari regarding Ondo State governorship election. In the meantime, normalcy has been restored in Akure, the Ondo State capital, after early morning protests by residents over the non-inclusion of Eyitayo Jegede's name in the candidates' final list released by INEC late Thursday. The Ondo State government had appealed for calm and peace over what it described as conflicting pronouncements from the courts and INEC on the gubernatorial candidates in respect of the November 26 governorship election. Ondo State Information Commissioner Mr. Kayode Akimade released a statement urging the people not to resort to self-help. INEC had published names of 28 candidates, including Rotimi Akeredolu as APC candidate and Jimo Ibrahim as PDP candidate in the election. The National Council on Information has opened in Asaba, Delta State, with the state governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, calling on information managers to help in putting Nigeria first in their daily reportage. The council, which is the highest body on information management, brought together states commissioners of information, chief executives of federal and state parastatals, and other information managers from across the country.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, while applauding the revolution in the industry and describing it as heartwarming, its abuse, he said, portends immense danger for positive development. Hence the need for professionals to take advantage of this revolution and make credible the practice.
We as media managers must not despair
We must up our game by keying into the same evolving new information technology through training and retraining of our personnel, acquisition of state-of-the-art technology, as well as deploying uncommon commitment and passion to what we do.
On the need for attitudinal change, which is in line with the theme of the Council's 46th meeting, leveraging on information and digital technology to sustain the federal government's change agenda, the minister said information managers must be true agents of change as the task is daunting.
We are therefore being tasked on a daily basis with how to balance and make the best of it.
For effective information dissemination, Lai Mohammed called for increased funding for information management in the country. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, on his part, said effective information management and flow promotes good governance.
Efficient and free flow of information aids organizational efficiency, promotes understanding of government policies, programs, and actions, encourages accountability, and documents the activities of government for the benefit of present and future generations.
The National Council on Information is an assemblage of all stakeholders in the business of government information management, and it is the highest decision-making body in information management in the country. In Asaba, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Yet in Asaba, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says those in leadership positions should strive to be just and fair in all they do, as the positions they occupy entrust. It was during his conversation with Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. Anthony Forson again reports.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, while describing the governor as a man who has embraced what he called a no victor, no vanquished disposition, is worthy of emulation by eschewing party differences and remaining focused to work for the generality of the people in the overall interest of the state.
Given the fact that you've been elected on a platform, political party which is different from that of the federal government, I think speaks volumes about your commitment and patriotism. And I'm not surprised. Having been a senator, I think you have a broader perspective of Nigeria than what most people will have.
Responding, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa assured the minister that despite party differences, Delta State under his administration is committed to work and support the federal government in its drive to build Nigeria.
For us as a state, we will continue to partner with the federal government and all of the governments. The course after elections is about governance. The real truth is, it's no longer about APC or PDP or APGA or any other party. It's about governance.
The minister was accompanied on the visit by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, heads of parastatals under his ministry, and state commissioners of information attending the National Council on Information meeting. In Asaba, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, says she remains steadfast in supporting the administration of her husband, President Muhammadu Buhari, to successfully deliver on its mandate of improving the lives of Nigerian citizens, especially women and children. Sequel to this, Mrs. Buhari has flagged off the distribution of food items and other essential commodities to various families in Benisheik town in Kagaluku government area of Borno State to complement government efforts in cushioning the effects of the hardships as a result of the activities of the insurgents in the area. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
The 350 families who benefited from the gesture are drawn from the villages of Kaga local government area of Borno State. About 50 different kinds of food items, essential commodities, and other household utensils comprising rice, sugar, milk, bedding, wrappers, and semolina, as well as cooking and other kitchen utensils. The symbolic presentation of the items to the beneficiaries is a reflection of the commitment of the wife of the president in bringing succor to not only the IDPs but those affected by the crisis in the northeast through her massive mobilization of huge financial and material support by well-meaning Nigerians and other international donors as part of the Get Involved campaign launched in August this year as component of Future Assured.
I'm here today to flag off the distribution of the food items donated by well-meaning Nigerians from south to north to east to west. I thank all Nigerians.
Mrs. Buhari promised that she will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that all victims of insurgency in the state and other parts of the country benefit from this similar gesture.
We thank Almighty Allah for giving us the opportunity to start fulfilling the promises that we have made. That's the essence of having a leader. When you promise, you make sure that you fulfill your promises. And that is what we are all after. And that's what I am after in particular, the success of my husband's administration. And he can't do it alone except with the help of the governor's wives, and all members of our Progressive Party.
While promising to remain committed in supporting the wife of the president in her effort for the upliftment of the living standard of women and children in Nigeria, the governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, and his wife, Nana, said their happiness for the love and commitment of the wife of the president in the healing process of the agony are the victims of insurgency knows no bound.
I want to thank our mother, Hajia Aisha Buhari. She has shown love and affection to Borno State.
I enjoy you, the beneficiaries and officials of this council, to remain steadfast in supporting this administration and be firm in your prayers for our state and national leaders to have the courage, zeal and wisdom to usher us into peace and prosperity.
The beneficiaries expressed their happiness with the gesture. In Maiduguri, Borno State capital, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations has placed 16 states in Nigeria on food security alert. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports that this was the outcome of analysis conducted on identifying risk areas and vulnerable populations in Nigeria.
The analysis of the current situation of acute food and nutrition insecurity of the FAO indicates that the 6 states in the northeast and Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Niger, Plateau, Benue, Taraba and Sokoto are on red alerts as a result of climate change and conflicts. The affected states have a population of over 90 million people.
The essence of this exercise is to help government understand where the problem is, and then they can tailor interventions and support towards those that are most vulnerable.
So we want to know the status of food availability, affordability, and stability among these 16 states.
The workshop also commended the federal government's Presidential Committee on the Northeast Initiative, which they said will go a long way in tackling the challenge. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Former head of state General Abdulsalami Abubakar has appealed for collaboration towards addressing farmers-herdsmen conflict that has become a major security concern in the country. General Abdulsalami, who made the appeal while interacting with the Minister of Agriculture, Audu, and governors of Kenya, also expressed support for the federal government's initiative to establish ranches and grazing reserves for herdsmen. Musa Babaliu reports.
Issues relating to agriculture and its role in the socio-economic development of Nigeria were the focus of discussion during the interaction between the Minister of Agriculture and the 3 governors, as well as the former head of state. The Minister of Agriculture and Central Bank Governor briefed the former head of state on the steps being taken to address challenges being faced presently in the effort to ensure agricultural development. These include financial inclusion of the farmers, input supply and value addition to produce for export.
It was very soon by telling each of the zones in their areas of specialization. We hear quite often the farmers at the beginning of season, halfway through the season. What are we doing next? Who is getting involved in what? Soil test results, what fertilizer to use, and where to find the fertilizer.
All the farms, everybody is building everywhere. And farmers like me, we have fenced our own farm. So these herdsmen have no place to go. So this is the biggest challenges we have. We must, as individual and as government, try to provide grazing and water point for these herds people. And as we are doing that, we must set schools for their children.
The visitors took time to tour the Mezube farms located along Minabida Road in Niger State. In Mina, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Still on agriculture, it has been described as the biggest sector of the Nigerian economy, as it has the capacity to address the issue of unemployment. Minister of Agriculture, Audowe, made the assertion while addressing participants of correspondent Isaac Nkuma reports.
The minister's assignment here is to intimate the course participants on efforts of the federal government in reviving agriculture as the mainstay of the Nigerian economy. To national economy, he expressed optimism that the agricultural sector in Nigeria has the potential to engage millions of persons, thereby checking the rise of unemployment, youth restiveness, and insecurity.
We're rushing in some rice mills and we're distributing them in villages because we have a new program in the ministry called LIFE. We're moving groundnut oil mills, rice mills, cassava processing, shea butter mills, spread them deep in the villages and hand them over to women and youth cooperatives to achieve two things. Cut down on imports, jobs, reverse migration, because many young men in the cities will definitely go home. The life in the village where they are landlords, where they are free, where they are making money is definitely preferable to the life in Ajegunle or Mararaba here.
Earlier, the Commandant, National Defense College, Rear Admiral Samuel Ilesamiala, had received the between the National Defense College and Indonesian Command Staff College, as well as peacekeeping operations. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. We shall be right back with more stories.
Call of change, stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. So let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogeruola. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Abuja Electricity Distribution Company has taken a bold and practical step to ensure effective distribution of electricity and efficient billing mechanism for its consumers in the Federal Capital Territory, Nasarawa, Kogi, and Niger states. Uchenwizu was at the official inauguration of the company's large power users metering project in Abuja.
The Abuja Electricity Distribution Company is committing about $1.8 million for the procurement and installation of specialized meters to improve its service delivery. About 4,000 large consumers of electricity are being targeted in the first phase of their new metering project. With the inauguration in Abuja, the company hopes to ensure transparency and eliminate fraud in electricity distribution process.
Beyond the metering gadget, there is an intelligent system for online reading of all the power parameters. From our control room, we are able to read for every customer where we put this meter, the voltages, the currents, and other features like the phasor diagram and so on. The second level or advantage over this system is that we are cutting out a human interface.
To achieve this, a 24-hour customer call center for speedy resolution of complaints has been put in place. Acting Director General of Bureau of Public Enterprises, Dr. Vincent Abotaire, is optimistic that the metering project will enhance power supply and reduce the issues associated with estimated billings.
One of the cardinal bases for the transfer of these assets to the distribution companies
was the undertaking and the commitment to reduce losses, technical losses, commercial losses, as well as collection losses. And the only way, primarily the only way of ensuring that collection losses are reduced is by an aggressive metering plan.
Abuja Electricity Distribution Company has ordered 30,000 meters to accelerate its small power users metering projects. Uche Nwizu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates Senator Kabiru Ibrahim Gaya on his election as Vice President of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU for Africa, and the just concluded 135th General Assembly of the Union in Geneva, Switzerland. President Buhari believes that Senator Gaya possesses the experience, credentials and vision to serve in the international body and contribute to the goal of making the world a better place through people-oriented legislations in a democratic society. The President is confident that the distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will serve the IPU with dedication and integrity, in addition to representing the collective voice of African parliamentarians on priority issues that promote peace, security, development and prosperity on the continent. The President assures him of the full support of the federal government and other well-meaning Nigerians throughout his tenure as Vice President of the Union. The management of the State House has resolved to eliminate all forms of corruption and corrupt tendencies in the seat of government in line with the National Reorientation Campaign, Change Begins With Me. The Permanent Secretary, Jalal Arabi, stated this at the opening of a sensitization on misconduct in the public service for the directorate-level staff of the State House. Adamu Sambu reports.
The session organized by the State House Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit is meant to internalize the values of probity, transparency and accountability in the conduct of government business in the State House. The Permanent Secretary, Jalal Arabi, restated his personal commitment and that of the State House management towards eliminating corruption, minimizing waste and leakages, as well as enforcing compliance with integrity codes as cardinal focus of the Buhari administration.
I urge you participants to avail yourselves of this unique opportunity to become change agents in the war being waged against corruption and corruptive behaviors. After all, a change begins with us. Therefore, please and please, let us be more responsible.
While commending the staff for accepting to form the nucleus of the vanguard to fight corruption, the Permanent Secretary assured them that outstanding compliance behavior will be appropriately rewarded.
I again reiterate that State House management will place a very high premium on all of you to own and drive the processes for reforming and improving the State House towards optimizing efficiency.
The government is for all of us to provide services, to deliver services. And when we allow corruption to take over the will of governance, then it is non-dimittis for all of us. So we are using this as a preventive mode to make sure that corruption does not continue to happen. And where it is happening now, it should stop.
Participants at the forum promised to live above board in the discharge of their responsibilities towards guaranteeing a corrupt-free Nigeria state of government. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Fatima Aliyu keeps us abreast of happenings around the globe.
Kenya Education Ministry says school children in the country will be barred from entering examination rooms with clipboards and geometrical set boxes, including mobile phones. Cheating cases in Kenya rose by 70% last year, leading to the arrest of teachers and cancellation of results for 5,000 students. More than 1.5 million children will start writing examinations next week. And 7 leaders of an armed militia who led a 41-day standoff at a U.S. federal wildlife refuge in Oregon have been cleared of the charges against them. The surprise verdict acquitted them of conspiracy and firearms offenses. The militia occupied the refuge in early January, accusing the government of unlawful interference in the affairs of ranchers. A total of 26 people have been charged over the standoff. Some have already pleaded guilty to conspiracy. A second group of defendants is due to stand trial in February. Fatima Ali, NTA News.
Countdown to December Legends Wrestling for National Unity begins as the Nigeria Basketball Federation seeks improvement for the sport. Ayodeji Makinde is our guide on sports update.
The need for all tiers of government to develop sports at the grassroots as a major booster of national unity has again been emphasized by stakeholders in Abuja during the official torch lightning by former head of state General Yakubu Gowon to mark the countdown to the forthcoming Legends Wrestling Championship slated for December 9 to 10 in Enugu.
It's time we begin to change the narrative, and so to do so we need to use sports, which we believe is something that's common to every Nigerian.
The Legends Wrestle for National Unity is being organized by Nigerian World Wrestling Champion Osita Ofo, also known as the Ultimate Commander, in conjunction with the Enugu State government. How to take Nigerian basketball as a game and its administration to the next level is the thrust of a two-day board meeting of the Nigeria Basketball Federation, which started Friday in Abuja. President of the Nigeria Olympic Committee, Habu Gumel, commended the Youth Development Initiative of the NBBF and called for early preparation by all federations ahead of 4 major competitions holding between 2017 and 2019. As the 2016 Interior Games set to climax Saturday in Kaduna, correspondent Benny Adams reports that the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps is leading the medal table with 7 gold, 6 silver and 3 bronze medals, followed by Nigeria Prisons with 2 gold and a bronze medal. Meanwhile, correspondent Lekon Kilajelu in Katsina reports that NAF Training Command Kaduna are set to emerge champions after an impressive 21 gold, 15 silver and 14 bronze on day 5 of the 8th Nigerian Air Force Games, which ends Saturday with a novelty match between the selected teams of Governor Aminu Bello Masari and Air Chief Sadiq Abubakar at the Muhammadu Diko Stadium Saturday. With sports update, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
And before we sign off, a quick check on Saturday's weather outlook for some Nigerian and world cities. That's the news from NTA International. Bye for now.